Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. A child hit by a stray bullet inside his own home in East Bakersfield late last night. We'll have his condition and the search for the shooter coming up.
PG&E is paying customers affected by last month's blackouts, but it's not just homes and businesses getting money back. How the state could be reimbursed after the power shutoffs. President Trump promising to release a transcript today of his first phone call with the Ukrainian president. His actions with Ukraine, the focus of tomorrow's public hearing. We'll have the latest from Washington. This is Tuesday, November 12th, 2019. Good morning. Great to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. Hopefully everyone who had an extra day off yesterday enjoyed it. Beautiful weather for Veterans Day. It was absolutely gorgeous, especially right during the parade here in downtown Bakersfield. Kevin Charette was actually on the parade route for a little bit, checking things out. And Kev, it was just a gorgeous day around the county yesterday.
Yeah, it was a great day for our veterans. The crowds were great in their support, and we hit 78 degrees on the high temperature. Again, that is above where we should be this time of year. Our normal high is right at 67. As we take a look at the temperature right now, 53 degrees in Bakersfield under a calm wind. As we take a look at the day here, we'll start out in the 50s and then warming up into the lower 80s throughout the afternoon. We'll see just a light northwest wind at 5, right around 3. Tehachapi currently at 45. No winds to talk about. We'll see a light breeze here today as well. Starting out in the upper 40s and then throughout the afternoon, we'll be looking at the lower 70s. Some clouds will be on the approach as well as we head into tonight. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. But first, let's get a check of the morning commute. We'll send that over to Alex.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Take you outside to the intersection of, or at the road of 99 at Airport Drive, and it's looking pretty clear on that side of town. Everything else around the county is looking pretty good. To start off your Tuesday morning, we'll have another check coming up in about 15 minutes.
A fire broke out in northeast Bakersfield overnight and ended with a firefighter being taken to the hospital. Flames were spotted just before 8 last night in the garage of a vacant home on Goodman Street near North Kern Street. Crews knocked down the flames, but one firefighter was hurt. He apparently fell and either fractured his leg or ankle. Fire crews spoke to the home's owner, who said they'd had problems with squatters in the past and the home caught fire a couple of weeks ago.
A child sitting inside his own home was struck by a bullet in an overnight shooting in East Bakersfield. It happened around 10 o'clock last night on Niles Street. It's near Williams Elementary School. Police say the gunfire came from outside, but a stray bullet hit the teen or the child inside his home. Police say there may have been a fight in the area that led up to the shooting. The teenager wasn't badly hurt and taken to the hospital.
Well, if you get around by Bird in Bakersfield, you'll have to find another ride. The startup electric scooter rental company will pause operations in Bakersfield. Bird scooters arrived here in December of 2018. People rent them and then leave them behind at different spots throughout the city. It's unclear why Bird's pausing operations in Bakersfield, but an email sent to contractors who collect and charge the scooters said the company will reach out when they resume operations. 17 News reached out to Bird for comment, but we have not heard back.
A local McDonald's manager is one of the best in the world, and the company says it's loving it and giving her a prestigious award. Myra Villalpando is the manager of the McDonald's in Lamont. She won the Ray Kroc Award for being one of the company's top managers. Villalpando will receive a cash prize and a trophy for the achievement at a ceremony in Florida next year.
Sweeping crackdown at a college campus in San Diego after a fraternity event led to the death of a student. More than a dozen other fraternities have been suspended. San Diego State University student Dylan Hernandez died after attending a Phi Gamma Delta frat party. It happened Wednesday night.
It's horrifying, and I feel terrible for the parents.
The university reacted swiftly, suspending 14 fraternities after a campus police investigation uncovered possible misconduct at the fraternity. This is not the first time Phi Gamma Delta has found itself punished by the university. 2 years ago, the fraternity was put under probation after violating alcohol-related policies.
The widow of a passenger that died in the dive boat fire is now suing the owner of the Conception. The boat caught fire off the coast of Santa Barbara 2 months ago. The fire killed 34 people. It was ruled the boat did not have adequate fire alarms and emergency exits, and now the widow of one of the passengers on board is suing the owner of the boat, saying it was unsafe. She is the first person related to a victim to sue the owner. However, one employee injured during the fire has also sued.
While PG&E is expected to credit customers affected by one of last month's blackouts, the state may also be getting reimbursed for all of the time and resources it spent on the ordeal. Both PG&E customers as well as the state might get some money back. The state had to pull together a lot of resources during the shutoff, like emergency service centers. The Federal Emergency Management Agency typically reimburses the state for emergency operations costs when a disaster hits, but the shutoffs weren't considered an emergency, so people were left wondering who will cover the costs. PG&E has already reimbursed some customers. PG&E recently reported it took a substantial hit in the last financial quarter. The utility is bracing itself for possibly incurring up to $6.3 billion in costs this year related to the recent events. With $90 million of that, it's expected to go to customers affected by the October 9th blackout.
And she's known as Little Miss Kern County, and she's helping serve others here in the community.
17th Tabitha Mills joins us a little later to tell us more.
And it's Tuesday and another warm day out there, but some clouds will be on the approach for us. We'll talk more about that coming up right after the break.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News with Maddie Jansen, Alex Fisher, and Kevin Charette with your Pinpoint Doppler forecast. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
She wants to help others have a servant's heart.
Yeah, and Tabitha Mills joins us this morning and introducing us to Little Miss Kern County, and she shares her new mission. Good morning, Tabs.
Good morning. Well, it's her mission to help people at the mission, and at 8 years old, Nyla Perkins, or Little Miss Kern County 2020, says she is helping others through Christ. Nyla is holding a donation drive for the homeless. It's part of her platform as Little Miss Kern County 2020, but it's also a part of her heart. She's a pint-sized philanthropist asking for the community's help.
I'm trying to donate socks and underpants to the homeless.
Why is that important?
Because God wants us to help people.
So there you have it. Nyla hopes to collect socks and underwear for children and adults. Donations will be distributed Thanksgiving Day at the mission at Kern County. If you'd like to donate, there are several drop-off locations, including the mission at Kern County, Wingstop on Coffee Road, and Alta One Federal Credit Union on River Run Boulevard, as well as Ming Avenue. So you can reach out for more information on Instagram as well. Just search at Little Miss Kern County 2020. There you have it.
That's the goal right there, to have a kid who has a heart like that and wants to give back. It's
exactly.
So cool.
Our pint-sized philanthropist.
What a sweetheart.
She's super sweet.
All right,
Thanks so much, Tab.
Well, we're asking for your help to ensure local families in need have a warm holiday meal this Thanksgiving and Christmas. Tomorrow, we're hosting our annual holiday food drive. Every year, KGET teams up with the Community Action Partnership of Kern, which distributes more than 12 million pounds of food through 113 partner sites. The food bank relies on your donations to stock the shelves ahead of Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we hope you'll stop by tomorrow, sometime between 5 a.m. and 7 p.m. outside our studios at 22nd and M Streets. We're looking for everything needed to cook up a holiday feast, and of course, monetary donations are welcome.
Starting today, the work begins to bring new homes to help homeless and poor veterans in Oildale. The California Veterans Assistance Foundation will break ground for Covey Cottages, a 12-unit village of so-called tiny homes to give permanent housing to veterans who are homeless or at risk of falling into homelessness. We're bringing more coverage of the groundbreaking later today.
On Friday, you can join us for the 10th annual Heroes and Helmets to support local Make-A-Wish kids. Heroes and Helmets brings firefighters with kids and their families together with our community for a day of giving. Make-A-Wish grants wishes to children who battle critical illnesses. And again, this event is outside our KGT studios in downtown Bakersfield at 22nd and M Street. The donation drive is from 7 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. You can also join us for lunch between 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. $10 gets you a deep pit sandwich, chips, a cookie, and a water. City and county firefighters will also accept cash donations outside our station and at the intersections of Olive and Knudsen and Mohawk and Rosedale from 7 a.m. until 1:30 p.m.
It's going to be a busy week.
It's going to be a pretty busy week, yeah, the next couple of days.
Hope you come down and see us. Well, still ahead, can a credit card be sexist?
Why some people are saying it can after the break.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
And the Wall Street Journal reports that Google is partnering with a major hospital chain to collect and analyze personal health data for millions of Americans. Ascension is the second largest healthcare system in the U.S. It is a Catholic chain of 2,600 hospitals. The initiative with Ascension is codenamed Project Nightingale. It started last year and involves Google pooling medical records from Ascension facilities across 21 states. Those records include names, dates of birth, lab results, diagnoses, and hospitalization records. According to the Journal, it amounts to a complete health history, and patients have not yet been informed. The idea behind the program is to use the data in part to design new software that suggests changes to individual patient care. The company said in a news release, Project Nightingale complies with federal health laws and comes with substantial patient data protection. According to USA Today, an Amazon spokesperson says the company will open a new grocery store next year in Los Angeles. The e-commerce giant did not reveal many details, but says the store will not be a Whole Foods, which Amazon bought in 2017. Amazon did not reveal the name or whether the new store will be part of the chain. The company is also not giving details on pricing or the products the California store will carry. The news comes about 8 months after the Wall Street Journal reports Amazon was negotiating to open supermarkets in multiple cities. Is the Apple credit card sexist? The New York Department of Financial Services is launching an investigation into Goldman Sachs' Apple-branded credit card. A tech entrepreneur has accused the bank's application algorithm of discriminating against women. He says he was approved for a credit limit 20 times higher than his wife, even though the couple files joint tax returns and his wife has a higher credit score. Goldman Sachs did not respond to a request for comment.
In California's wine country, one Mexican-American family is breaking barriers with their award-winning wines. The Cejas went from picking grapes to owning their very own winery in Napa. Nadia Romero has a closer look at what's brought them this sweet success and what they're doing to protect the rights of migrant workers.
A delicious mole and Ceja Vineyards Pinot Noir.
Cheers to that.
Salud.
Wine, food, and familia. For the Cejas, running a successful wine business in California's wine country has been a labor of love.
So this is very good.
Pedro and Amelia Cejas were just 12 years old when they met in the vineyards. The Mexican migrant workers had just moved to the U.S. and were helping their parents pick grapes on the weekend.
I told my dad I was going to have my own vineyard someday. It was also Pedro's dream. So it was a collective effort of many talented immigrants that have made Ceja Vineyards a reality.
The Cejas are now one of very few Mexican Americans who have gone from grape pickers to owning their very own vineyard.
It can be done independent of our humble beginnings if we work hard and we're willing to pay the price.
Amelia says in an industry dominated by white Europeans, she faced pushback for pairing high-quality wines with classic Mexican dishes like spicy mole.
People thought I was crazy when I started pairing beans and Cabernet.
But that's exactly what she envisioned doing as a young migrant worker, one day weaving her Mexican heritage into delicious wines.
Love that sound. Woo!
And it's something she's passed down to her sons and her daughter, Dalia.
There's a saying in our familia, we don't have blood in our veins, we have wine. And it's that expression of passion, dedication, and focus to building a family legacy.
The family says they take workers' rights very seriously. Amelia says she has rallied in Washington to support legislation that would extend protections for migrant workers.
I care very deeply about protecting them to make sure that they're not exposed to harmful pesticides, herbicides, and to make sure that their contributions are acknowledged.
Currently, the Cejas say they produce 7,500 cases of wine a year, but they hope to raise that number to 18,000 cases within the next decade as they build a new mission-inspired production facility and grow the Ceja legacy.
Family first.
Familia!
Yeah, salud.
Salud!
I'm Nadia Romero reporting.